With Star Wars Skeleton Crew starting next month, with young heroes and big adventures, are Skeleton Crew and Star Trek Prodigy a case of creative coincidence or blatant copycat? Well, hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today I thought I'd talk about something that's been on my mind for a little while, which occurred to me after seeing the trailer, or several trailers I guess, that have now dropped for Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I'm a Star Wars fan, I'm a big Star Trek fan, and looking at a show about a bunch of kids, both human and alien, and there's a robot, and they find a spaceship and go on an adventure in the galaxy, and they got to find their way home, and I couldn't help thinking, geez, that sounds a lot like Star Trek Prodigy. So today I'm asking the question, did Star Wars Skeleton Crew completely rip off Star Trek Prodigy? Okay, for starters, we've got a bunch of kids. One that clearly has a lot of swagger in this character here in the Star Wars trailer, which kind of reminds me a lot of the swagger and everything that Dal had in Star Trek Prodigy. You've got the blue elephant alien who's sort of seems to be a little bit unsure of themselves, which kind of reminds me a little bit of the Roktar character from Star Trek Prodigy. You've got kind of a fix-it, engineer type character who, let's face it, if you've got an engineer that's wearing a visor, I mean, you couldn't get any closer than Geordi LaForge from Star Trek Next Generation. He was the chief engineer of the Enterprise D. He's wearing a visor. You've got this young character here hitting engines with spanners and everything, who clearly is kind of going to be taking on the Jankum Pog kind of role in this show. Jankum was always going on about percussive maintenance and constantly hitting engines with things to get them to work. Not to mention a character which is a droid, which then reminds me of Zero, which was the Medusan in the mechanical suit in Star Trek Prodigy. They find a spaceship that's been abandoned. Obviously, you've got the Protostar in Star Trek Prodigy, and you've got this old rebel ship or whatever it is that they find in Skeleton Crew. But not only that, is that you've got a adult mentor type character that is showing them the ropes, showing them how to get through their adventures and everything. Obviously on Star Trek Prodigy you had the Captain Janeway hologram program that kind of guided the kids how to work the ship and where they're going to go and how they're going to solve their problems. And in Skeleton Crew you've got the Jude Law, I guess he's a former Jedi or something, character that's kind of overseeing the kids' adventures. I just cannot believe that that Star Wars is kind of just essentially copy and pasting the entire premise, characters, story, you name it, from Star Trek Prodigy and just pasting it into Star Wars Skeleton Crew. There are so many similar beats here that I can see and comparisons that you can make between the two shows. They seem to be fighting, you know, sort of space pirates or something. There was episodes of Prodigy where they came up against pirate type characters as well that they had to overcome. Now obviously I haven't seen Skeleton Crew yet. The lineup of Star Wars shows lately has been a little bit on the disappointing side, with Acolyte not particularly hitting its mark, I think. And I know there's been a lot of comparisons to the Goonies with Skeleton Crew and everything coming out soon, but from the standpoint of a science fiction television franchise, I certainly saw way more similarities to Star Trek Prodigy in terms of recent shows that have come out. And even when they first announced the synopsis for Skeleton Crew, it read identically to Star Trek Prodigy. The premise, the kids, the adventures, the mentorship. To me, it just seems like an absolute blatant ripoff. And I'm surprised not more people are speaking about this. So what do you guys think? Do you think Star Wars Skeleton Crew is a complete shameless ripoff of Star Trek Prodigy? Leave your thoughts in the comments section and we'll get chatting about that. If you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics, don't forget to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current with all the latest sci-fi TV and Star Trek news on YouTube. And also check out my merch in the merch shop. Plenty of cool sci-fi themed t-shirts, mugs, caps, hoodies, and everything to check out, and always at really reasonable prices. I'll be back pretty soon with the next video. See you guys soon.